Disruptive Wealth Creation. Today we have Manos from Money, Whiskey and Coffee. As you probably know, we've already done 2 videos with Manos. We did one on robotics, and we also did another one on 3D printing. And now we're doing our final one, which is on artificial intelligence. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be concentrating on 4 shares, 4 different companies that have artificial intelligence. And it's going to be a little bit of a different format today. So I'm going to be talking about 2 companies to begin with. The first one is going to be Amazon. The next one is going to be Tesla. And then I'm going to ask Manos if he can have a look at Palantir and also at Nvidia. Okay. Now, obviously with time, we cannot go into massive detail. So it's really just a little taster. It's just something for you to sort of grasp and find out about these companies. And if you want more, then obviously you have to do your own research. So let's get going, and we'll start with Amazon. So the thing I want to look at first of all with Amazon is a couple of things. The first thing I want to look at is the website. So let's start with the website. One of the most interesting things about Amazon is that when you order something on Amazon, okay, the first thing that happens is as you put your order through, you get a message and it says, we recommend that you buy other things. And the amazing thing about Amazon is they've got so much data on you that they actually know what you want. And statistics show that 35% of their sales at Amazon actually come from the recommendations. So that means that they know what you want. It's possible that maybe a couple of months ago you were looking for something and you couldn't find it, and then you came back again and they've got that in their system and they know. So it's incredible. So there's your first example of artificial intelligence on the website. Okay, so that's Amazon on the website. Now then, if we then move on to the warehouses are quite incredible. They're so fast, and you know, you order something, you get it next day. So how come? How does this happen? Well, basically, it's to do with robotics. And I think we mentioned in the previous video that when we talk about artificial intelligence, we can't sometimes just talk about artificial intelligence on its own. We have to talk about it together with robotics, with 3D learning and stuff like that. So they're all interconnected. So yeah, so they have these robots, and these robots, basically what they do is they carry items along the warehouse. Okay, now these robots are about 30 centimeters in height. They're about 450 kilograms in weight, and well, sorry, that's how much they can carry, and they can go as far as 3 miles per hour. So they're very fast. And effectively what they're doing is they're moving stuff around really quickly, faster than any human person could carry. And what basically Amazon have found is using these robots, they've actually saved costs of around about 40%. Now, that doesn't mean that that's diminished the workload, because basically what the workers are now doing is they're supervising the robots, and they're also doing other things when things go wrong. So as I say, it doesn't always follow that just having a robot means you lose a job, because there's always more work in the system. Okay, so there's your little sweetener, there's your little sort of introduction to actually artificial intelligence in warehouses. So then I want to move on to Alexa. Now, Alexa is quite interesting because we all know about Alexa. You ask Alexa to put some music on, you ask Alexa to put the alarm on, but there's more things that you can do. You can actually buy other things that you can connect Alexa to. And I think, is it called Internet of Things? Manos, is that what it's called, that phrase?
Yeah, well, Internet of Things is a very broad term. It's also used in industry quite a lot. And the applications really extend from your fridge knowing when you run out of milk, all the way to your fridge telling you when something is going wrong, and letting you know that you need to call a technician or buy a new one, because everything is built to be thrown away these days, unfortunately.
So this is quite crazy, really. So this is really interesting, and this happens with Alexa, because with Alexa you can get a door lock, so that you can lock the door using your mobile Alexa app. You can use your app for lighting, so you can make the room lighter, darker, switch the lights on, switch it off. You can change the mood, the colors. Okay, then there's other sort of things that you can also do, like in terms of ordering things online. So if you want a pizza, you want to order a Domino's, you just tell Alexa, order me a Domino's. And if you've got it sort of integrated into the system, it will actually pay and it will order. And there's other things like quizzes and all sorts of things. So you can have a lot of fun with Alexa. And we find that quite funny. But really, if you think about it, it's actually incredible, the technology. It's kind of moving so fast and we don't even notice it. It just happens and it's around us. The only other thing I want to mention about Amazon is the Amazon shops. And have you ever been in an Amazon shop yet, Manos, or not?
No, I didn't have the chance yet.
Yeah, well, I've not been one in yet, but from what I've seen from the videos on YouTube, basically what you do is you just scan your mobile phone, you go into a shop, and then you just pick everything that you want to buy and you walk out. There's no checkout, there's no queues, there's nothing. It's like a seamless, easy exercise. So again, this is another great example of artificial intelligence in progress, making life easier for the everyday man and woman, who live in our society. So that's Amazon. I just wanted to sort of bring those points out. So when people invest in Amazon, they've got a bit of an idea of what they're actually investing in. So that's Amazon. The next company I want to look at is a company that's very dear to my heart, okay? And I have to be careful because I get quite passionate about Tesla, okay? And I do love Tesla. What I want to talk about is the warehouse and the car. So if we start with the warehouse, if we look at Fremont, the warehouse in America, that is actually the size of about 185 football pitches. So it's a massive warehouse. Now, what Elon Musk has done, which is incredible, is rather than actually buy a warehouse or a car company that actually makes cars and then start tinkering with it, he started from scratch. And by starting from scratch, it means he's kind of reinvented everything. So there's lots of things within the company that you won't find in other car companies. So for example, if you look at something like Volkswagen will buy parts from other companies. Well, Tesla don't, they actually make their own, okay? So for example, if we look at batteries, they're doing the batteries obviously with the CTL, but they're also making lots of different things, and that actually reduced costs. But if you were to take Tesla in terms of making the car from its initial stage, what tends to happen is you get some aluminium, and they come in rolls. And what they do is they flatten and uncoil those rolls of aluminium. Then they use lasers to cut sort of squares. And then those squares are then put into sort of hydraulic presses. And then they make the doors and the other compartments. And then they get the underbody and then they put it all together. And now they've actually got this new press. Have you heard of this new press that they've got where they can make a whole unit of a car?
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's going to be really expensive if someone bumps into you, because you will basically have to replace the whole car instead of a panel. So okay, I don't know how this will work in real world, but in terms of assembly, yes, it eliminates part count, and yes, it will make it cheaper to actually make the car. However, the consumer will have to live with it.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Yeah, that's another question.
We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, within Tesla, we've got lots of robots, and they're all working, and the cars are being sprayed by these robots. The robots are moving cars along the assembly line, and obviously the cars are being produced. I think last year Tesla made about 500,000 cars, and this year they're expecting to make 1 million cars or more. So it just shows how technology, artificial intelligence, and all these factors working together can actually make things more efficient. And it sort of makes me smile, because I know people talk about inflation and they're worried about, oh my God, inflation. Well, if we can reduce the costs of items, whether it be cars or other items, that will actually reduce the cost, hopefully, of inflation, in a kind of roundabout kind of way. But getting back to the main point, Tesla, so very innovative company. obviously they've got lots of different things going on there, and that is just wanted to sort of bring that to your attention about Tesla as an investment.
Yeah, I'll be a bit contrarian on Tesla.
Okay.
I honestly, obviously they did bring the electric car into the mainstream, no doubt about it. I can't argue with the returns on the stock, obviously. However, two great misconceptions. Elon Musk did not invent Tesla.
No.
The company existed. He just went in and invested in it. That's a great misconception that people have, that, oh, Elon Musk invented Tesla. Okay. No, he didn't. He did take it to where it is now. Yes, of course. Also, you mentioned that Tesla makes everything. That's false. There's no car manufacturer in the planet at the moment that makes every part themselves. Tesla buys things.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure of it. I work with companies that sell parts to Tesla.
Okay.
So
I'm happy to take your advice.
We need to take things with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There is a lot of misconception, and sometimes people say things which aren't true just to make headlines or increase the value of the stock.
Yeah, Manos, what are your feelings about full self-driving? Do you think it will happen?
I think it will happen.
Okay.
However, we have to be realistic. Tesla themselves admitted to the Californian, I think the division is called Motor Vehicle Department.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I think I did send you the link. If you will be kind enough, put it in the description below. They admitted themselves that their cars are not fully autonomous. They are SAE level 2.
Yeah.
And full autonomy is SAE level 4 and all the way up to SAE level 5. So we are still 2 to 3 steps away from full autonomy. Okay. If we want to say we will have full autonomy, we have to expect that, if not all, the majority of the cars on the road are fully autonomous, and they are communicating with each other. Right. Because there are a lot of variables that a self-driving car cannot predict. But if cars are communicating with one another, then if one car wants to change lanes, it can inform the car in front and behind that, look, I'm changing lanes now, give me some space, etc. There have been instances where self-driving cars have injured people or have been involved in accidents. Right. I think it was Uber that was testing a self-driving car in the middle of the night. At some point, there was a driver in there, but the car did not actually detect a pedestrian, and unfortunately, the pedestrian lost their lives. Okay. There have been crashes with Tesla cars being on autopilot and the driver either watching a movie or not paying attention, and not being able to correct, let's say, the autopilot's mistake. So we have to be careful when we say, oh, it's a full self-driving car. It's not. It can do a lot of things for you, take the stress away from you when driving, but you still have to be paying attention.
Yeah. Do you think that it is actually a better system than LiDAR or not?
LiDAR actually is a type of a sensor. It's LiDAR. I don't remember exactly what the name means. It's basically it's sensing what's in front. I think the new iPhone has something similar.
Yeah, I think they use Google Maps or something similar to that. So they're kind of restricted because they have to send people out to sort of film the area, and then obviously things change. It can be a problem.
Yeah, so a self-driving system will use LiDAR. It's not that LiDAR is something different.
Okay, that's great. Right, I know that you're very passionate about Palantir, so should we move on to Palantir? And you want to tell us about Palantir?
I tend not to be passionate about companies. I am passionate about what Palantir brings to the table. So what happens with modern manufacturing, even if we're talking about a company that makes planes like Airbus, company that makes cars like Tesla or Volkswagen,
Yeah.
a company that makes electronic devices like Samsung. They have a lot of divisions, a lot of departments spread around the globe, and they generate a vast amount of data that is quality control, that is sales, that is supply chain, that is orders, that's in inventory, that is production numbers, that is HR, a lot of stuff, a lot of data that are unstructured. A lot of times there's no time for people to actually go and sort the data out and make decisions based on that data. So a lot of chances go past the companies, and a lot of opportunities for growth are missed. What Palantir does with their Foundry piece of software is they have created a framework for a company to collect all this data, analyze this data, make sense of this data in really quickly. And this also allows the company to create what we say a digital twin of the whole process, from an order being received, an order being sent for raw materials, production, all the way to shipping out a finished product. And that way the company can find opportunities to make their production more efficient. Also, they can run what-if scenarios. So they can say, what if supplier A delays my shipment by a week? What will happen 4 months down the line? So they know what the knock-on effects are going to be, and they know they already have ways to mitigate that if this happens. So if it happens in real life, they know what they can do. They can shift production around. They can make this order first instead of the other. And we have a real-world example. Airbus is using this software. They have managed to speed up production of the Airbus A350 by 33%. This is a huge improvement. We are talking task forces of people probably being able to make a 5% improvement, 10% improvement, maybe. We're talking 33%. That's massive. And also, Airbus was giving this software for free to their customers, the airlines, and the airlines were able to actually predict faults on components before those components actually broke down. So they could save planes from having to be diverted mid-flight, or they could stop flights being canceled, and this saves a huge amount of money for the airlines, and a lot of stress to the passengers themselves. And imagine this now taking place in our own in products we use in our cars. Imagine the car manufacturer being able to tell you that, you know what, your suspension is going to fail before it does. So you are not at the side of the motorway waiting for roadside assistance. You know that this is going to happen, so you book an appointment.
That's great. That sounds really good. And so what we're looking at is, it's not just a question of cost saving, but also sort of preventing accidents and foreseeing things that could happen in the future. That's great. Well, let's move on then to Nvidia, because that's another company that does artificial intelligence, and I think they're doing lots of stuff in gaming and things. Is that correct?
Yes. So correct. So Nvidia started as a company that produced graphics cards for computer gaming. In the throughout the years, they have created a lot of different products. They have created the Nvidia Shield, which is basically a box which runs Android, and you can connect to the internet, and you can play games on it as well. And they have developed their own artificial intelligence. So they have two flavors of it, let's say. One is called DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, which basically there is a learning algorithm, a deep learning algorithm, where it's fed incomplete images, millions of them. And the algorithm learns how to fill in the blanks. So when you play a game, you say, I want to play the game on 720p, but I want to have an output of full HD, 1080p or 1440p.
Okay.
So basically you have your GPU running, rendering, let's say, a smaller image, then blowing it up. And by this process, you have a lot of gaps. The AI fills in the gaps. So you have a more smooth frame rate. You don't consume so much energy. And you have a better gaming experience.
Oh, great.
The same algorithms are used for computer simulation. Nvidia has partnerships with Altair Engineering, ANSYS, Siemens as well. So their GPUs are actually accelerating the simulation process for engineering purposes. And also another thing that they do, as you can see, my background is blurred at the moment. This is done with AI. This is running actually on an Nvidia GPU, and I can actually replace the background as I did now. I can remove the background, and we can go back to blurring the background, unblur the background. There it is. And it does the same with my audio at the moment. Probably you can't hear it. There is one of my neighbors is having his car running right outside my window, but you can't hear it. It cuts out all background noise at the same time.
Oh, excellent. So that's a lot of good stuff. So so basically what we've done is we've looked at Amazon, we've looked at Tesla, we've looked at Nvidia, and obviously Palantir. So 4 great companies, possibly obviously worth investing in. Any last thoughts or comments that you'd like to make? Or are we okay with that?
Comments that I would like to make is that obviously there are other companies in the AI space. One of Palantir's, let's say, competitors is C3 AI, another company that is listed and you should probably look at. And whenever you're investing, obviously always hedge your bets. So I like to bet on competitors of companies I invest. So I would also invest in AMD if I would invest in Nvidia. I would also invest in NEO if I was investing in Tesla. I would also invest in Intel. That's another company that deals with AI as well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of investment. I think they're building factories and they're doing a lot of stuff. Great stuff. Well, what I'll do is I'll leave some links below anyway. So obviously our viewers can have a look, and obviously they can come and have a look at your your channel as well. And yeah, fantastic. So thank you very much for coming on board again. And
thank you for having me.
Do some more videos in the future. Okay.